All right, this should be one of our last videos. I'm going to cover a lot at the beginning that I did off camera. Um, just took me a while to figure out that will save you many much hours. Paul from Paul's Hardware had done a video about doing a very similar build to this one. He used Corsair fans, Corsair memory, iCUE, MSI motherboard, and he was having some of the same issues I was having with LCD support. So first off, the whole issue with the graphics card was stressing me out. Couldn't figure it out for a while. Essentially, it just was drivers. It just needed drivers. Get onboard graphics. I don't know why they don't just make every chip with onboard graphics these days. This makes troubleshooting so much easier. I would have otherwise had to get like a different display graphics card of some sort, and then that it repeated itself when I flashed the BIOS as well. So it was a problem that I just could not escape. But I've resolved it now. We're totally fine. It's totally working. I got my Corsair LEDs here working as well. So these are all synced up, and I have them going red and green for the holidays. So that was exciting. Not in like a fun way per se, but it was exciting nonetheless. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is just kind of set this down and clean this up. A couple of things I wanted, just the cords on the back side are causing all kinds of problems, so we're gonna flip it over and do the other side. But very briefly, the LCD screen is not rotatable, which is very frustrating. The community manager on Reddit has been fielding many questions about it. They need to change that. They need to change it ASAP. They cannot advertise it as a rotatable display and then not have it. Oh my gosh, there is an LED switch on this. Let's make sure we are ESD strapped in though. I don't want the LEDs on the motherboard. They look clunky and weird on the Force. They only show underneath the Force, and I think I needed to remove the tape there. So yeah, I don't want them on. They look weird. Everything else is kind of lined up how I wanted. The only cable I'm really trying to think of a potential solution for is the dinky CPU fan cable. It's just ugly. It doesn't have any friends. It doesn't fit anywhere really neatly. Some of the heat sinks for the MOSFETs and stuff have these little channels in them, so I'm just gonna kind of feed it on up through those channels so that it's as far and away out of my way as possible. And then I'm also just going to unplug it here real quick. I'm gonna fish it behind the CPU 8 pins and then pull it back on up through. And that should at least kind of get it out of the way a little bit. The only thing I'm having problems with is getting it to stay inside of this heatsink channel, underneath the I/O shield. Well, you kind of gotta do this like one piece at a time. Okay, let's see if we can't get it up and in there like we want it. It's not gonna work, I don't think. One more idea. It's not a very good one. We can set it down through this closer one. That'll work fine. need it all the way down into one of these channels and I won't be able to see it. And that is pretty much the name of the game with cable management. We're all being honest with each other. Just to ignore the fact that your computer like legitimately needs and uses those cables for things. And sorry, this is not a very displayable part of this. I can't lay it down. As you can see on the back side, it is just a little bit wacky back there. And not in like the fun Looney Tunes kind of way. Oh my gosh. It just like cables get like hooked around something and they're like, no, this is where I want to be right here. Don't you dare tell me that I can't be right here. Paul from Paul's Hardware always uses like chopsticks for this kind of thing. It's kind of genius, to be honest. Okay, that cable is pretty well managed at this point. I think it's not perfect. Oh, I can kind of like tuck it behind this shielding here too. Oh, this is brilliant. All right, we got that pretty well and clear. I'm gonna do a little bit of straightening on the front side. Try to get you guys a little bit better view. Most of this is up at the top though, so not super accessible. And then I am going to use a splitter for these two cables. Oh, and then I had this massive problem. If you guys pay attention before, all of the LEDs for the AIO fans were showing up as pure red. I couldn't alter them. It wasn't showing up in iCUE. Long story short, I just had to connect it to the Commander Pro, and that being the actual pump USB header to the Commander Pro. I could not connect it to the motherboard as they described. After I did that, everything was fine. I was getting multiple things to read up through the splitter, so I think we should be able to do that without a problem. Theoretically, I should test that first, but I have all of the endurance and patience of a frustrated mule at this point. And try to twist these over each other and get them down just a little bit here. I'm contemplating using like, I don't know, I'd rather have these floating than to have them like secured by something. Just kind of unfortunate that they cover part of the RAM, but it's all right. It's just covering one LED stack. There are worse things about this build, if we're being honest. I just need to kind of tuck this over, cinch it down in. All right. Oh. Funny to just like finagle the back side and then ow, my wrist. And then flip it over and realize that would be pointless. Bum, ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. I honestly, I don't even really know what to do here. This will end up getting disconnected, so I don't want that managed per se. This is coming out of there, that's coming out of there. think this is like the last piece of the puzzle, and it definitely doesn't have a home. I don't think I can just like rest it up on here. I can't poke it up above. I'm just kind of in a bad spot with it. Okay, I had 2 Asus cable ties, but maybe they fell underneath it. I don't know. Okay, I kind of think I am going to hold to my original statement here with these temperature probes. You can use them, you know, if you're doing a custom water cool situation. I'm not doing that. I only care about the GPU and CPU temps. The ambient temps and other parts of the case are honestly irrelevant to me. Okay, now what I would like to do though here is just get these a little better situated and out of the way. This cable here needs, all of these need to get out of the way of the fan. They've actually been like rubbing into the fan, so can't have that. This is as much as we're kind of going to get here, but I think what we can do is basically take all of these, take these PCIe cables, scrunch them up, then we'll just zip tie them together with the bulge here. I do want to zip tie these with black. We have so many of these that I'm just going to be crimping, cinching, and connecting everything as individually as I can. And if I mess something up, no big deal. We'll just go ahead and cut it and get a new one. So I think for my sanity purposes, this is probably one of the best ways to go about this. Say like for example that I got this too tight and that this will no longer fit down in here, something like that. Just go ahead and clip it. No stress. Also kind of pull these up in. One side is up in here a little too far, one side's needs a little more slack. You can see this is going to hold it in place just fine. But it is helpful to just kind of get that right exactly where I want it. And remember, there is a fan on the top side of the power supply. Nothing on the bottom because I totally messed that up. Oh, oodle-lolly, golly, what a day. Yeah, totally installed this upside down. This is the kind of thing you should check beforehand. Don't know that it's going to make a large difference. But it's certainly not how I want it, so. I can totally hear something rattling around in there. I do love, and this is what's tricky, they conveniently put the display of the label display as inversible, as like reversible. So if whichever side you have it showing toward the outside of your case is going to show with the words face up. So, you know, though cool, it leads to mistakes. So yeah, there's a filter on the bottom of the case. I want the fan drawing in air and cooling off the power supply. With fresh air. Also, I just don't want it interfering. Oh my goodness. Thumb screws. Sound like love is the death of duty. Thumb screws are the death of... well-engineered builds. Too easy to exert force with the thumb screw in the wrong direction. There we go. Jimbo need Christmas. They also don't always line up where you want them. Super finicky. Alright, okay, we got the fan oriented in the right direction. Glad we figured that out before we totally clamped everything down. So that's good. Now to just kind of like line up all these SATA cables. Yeah, the CPU cables are now a little bit in my way. Let's just go ahead and pull these up. I'm kind of conveniently making taut all those other ones right there. I don't know. Same thing with these ones. Nice thing about these other LEDs I have on my desk, they are connected and controlled through iCUE through a USB 2.0 port on your computer. But like once you get them going, this is the Christmas colors in that light rotation is not their default setting, in case you're wondering. But once you get them going, they're not plugged into the computer right now, let alone like the computer's not on controlling them. So I'm glad that they don't just turn off. That'd be a little annoying and frustrating to me. Yeah, those are like vaguely in a workable orientation. I'm just gonna smush them out of the way. And again, that is a very technical term. Make sure you use that with all your computer buddies. Shmush. Shmorsh. However you want to say that. I would not natively have thought to actually like wrap this like this. I just need to make sure I can like access that other controller, but I think we are in a good spot. The SATA cabling is like wrapped around the cords underneath and brought back up. Like I really don't care about those cables. I'll just cut all the cords, get back in there if I need to make changes. I'm not deeply concerned about it at all. Make sure you're going the right way with these zip ties. Oh my gosh. Like hold down your button, it'll be like, oh, you're about to call 911. Ooh! Startling conclusion. Okay. Done. Now we're just gonna kind of get these out of the way, I guess. Go butt first, since the other ones seem to want to go that way. Just kind of push those as far down as we can get them. Looks like we are cleared. Okay, I think like the worst part about this whole situation are just these PCIe cables. These need to kind of like nestle down inside these grooves, I think, in order to not cause us problems. And I probably should have started with that, if we're all being honest with each other, just because now I'm in a bit of a bind. Or these will fit. Well, the case should still close over those. But yeah, that is not great. Not great at all. And this really has to kind of like come up and under there. Ugh. My goal with this was to just kind of like have it underneath the fan, but I think we're gonna have to end up right here. Such a hideous mess. And if you want cable management done right, just book yourself a year and get to work. These cables are all over the place. I'm glad we've wrapped these up so that they don't cause any more problems, but they are obnoxious. And I kind of wish that we could get these USB headers situated in a way that they would kind of not all interfere with each other. It's kind of unfortunately just share all this space. Not made to work with Lian Li streamers. Not at all. I just want the top piece of that, but I can't. It's like all or nothing, baby. Okay, almost got it. It's like the bottom here. I kind of line up the straps. It's done. Like a hard nodule that keeps hitting my watch. Okay, we are in on one side.
Oh my gosh, did we do it? That is nothing short of a Christmassy miracle. Holy cow. I really would like everything from underneath these. Unfortunately, it's just this cable I can't quite do that with. What I might be able to do here is just go ahead and remove this. Oh, jeez. That's not going anywhere. Okay. Got him out. Okay, then we're going to slide him sideways below these. Ah, there we go. All right. Now to situate these cables. Now, like I said, it's time to stop being committed to, oh, that was a cool thing that we did, and just clip that off. Yeah, it's like the equivalent of 1 cent. I'd rather have this done right than just done easily. But if I could have all of the above, that would be my favorite. Alright, then we're just going to kind of fish this out and along here. Fish this through. Unfortunately, these like kind of have to go. See if we can't go. We can't really go sideways. I'll be able to squeeze it through here. I don't know. That's kind of bad cable management here. What we could do. Those holes are covered. I have no idea how we would get this up and through here though. Just having this one managed over, down, and around is a big improvement. It's like looped around here though. Something similar over here. Got this one kind of comes over, straight over here. Just pass it up through this one, and then we'll just cable manage that in a minute. Oh, just trying to get these ones situated. I do have these white ones. This will be nominally visible. So we're going to go ahead and use one of these here. To secure these. Along the hard drive cage. And over, down, and around. I think everything right here is staying. And these are nice and wide, so you can use like the releasable ones. If that's easier for you. personally. Come on, man. Jimmy Christmas. Oh, we missed that. We can just pull these ones straight up though. I think I'm just gonna kind of leave this semi-taut for right now. And just work my way up as we go. That is connected to the motherboard right now, but we're not going to be using that one. So, like, while I'm happy to note they work right now, I know I'm not going to be using that, so I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it. Go ahead and remove it from the device. This is the one that we are going to be using. We'll keep this cord just in case we need it at some future date. But I know I won't be using it for this build, so let's just get that out of the way. This can go down. I think this is probably the cleanest place for this to sit, especially right now. What we do need is to pull this one taut and to secure it over here. I also want these cables this one, these ones. That kind of goes up there, so we'll attach it up and not down. This is the part that I dread most, are like interlaced things. Okay, looks like we just have one. So one's not too bad. All right, we do need to, just before I forget, because I will forget to connect this. This does go in here. Come on, there we go. Oh, that just feels awkward there. Let's see if this, I don't think it fits in that way, no. Just really, really, really wants to be problem. There we go. Once you get it, you'll know you have it. Oh, these are examples here, just looped around. Okay, this one's not too hard to get. Come on. I swear you could drive yourself nuts with this. Absolutely, Betty. I now know I basically have one more thing to do with this build. Other than like all the software things that I need to do, but with the actual physical componentry, after we finish this task, it's just a waiting game for this adapter come next week. Okay, the only other thing I really wanted to do up here was use that splitter. So it is working now, so I might just call it a day with that. I don't really want to. Oh, here it is. I found it. This is what you'll find yourself doing with the build all the time, is being like, do I need to do that? It's more work. I don't really love more work. But there's a greater than 0% chance at some future date I will want / need a USB 2.0 header. Just a USB header on the motherboard. And this makes it so I have a free one. And I was getting all of these to show up before with the splitter in a similar configuration. The only issue here, like I said, was just connecting this from the CPU cooler directly in. And I think we're just going to kind of leave everything on the top till we can stand this up and lay it over. The biggest thing we need to resolve now is just this. Move this down a little bit. Bend it over. Get these ones opened up here. Oh my gosh. Just stop sticking to each other. No, he's my best friend. I will not leave him. Okay, your choice. Don't think we need both of those there. What I'd rather have at this stage is just a solid one of these. Aren't really many cables right here. It's mostly just this problem that I have to solve. That doesn't want to work, so we'll try to get it like this. Come on. Please stop getting jammed up underneath there. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to, I don't want to cut this, I just want to grab it. I'm not the best tool to grab with. Oh my goodness. Make sure it's facing that way, right? Just like really curl it back so that way you can just like hook it underneath. There we go. All right. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just secure this wiring here. I think that's probably the best way to resolve this. Just keep that nice and cinched down. Don't want it going anywhere. Cool. That's down there. We have all kinds of messy craziness going on. If I'm being 100% honest at this point, I am tired. I know everything works. My motivation is very much flagging. The only thing I really want secured here is this. I just want everything kind of pulled off of here. Just get everything localized. This is already here. That USB cable I'm just gonna remove. This goes up from here to SATA. So yeah, we can tighten this. Good enough. You shut up. I swear, this thing's gonna be the death of me. This can go up top. Well, we can angle it back down over around here, I guess. I just like having things just like resting on the PCB, but this is gonna rip off. Oh my gosh. Come undone, please. Oh my heavens. Drive a man to absolute freaking insanity with cable management. Like, I'm very much a fastidious person who likes things to fit exactly where they go, nowhere else. And this is killing me in a lot of my inside places. But I just don't have a ton of options. I think like some of these cables I would have to like totally reroute. At this point, like I think we can get it closed. Nothing is interfering with anything, nothing's crushing anything, nothing's gonna, zap anything else. So my bigger priority now is to just clean up the aesthetic of the case, because that's ultimately what cable management, beyond being able to just find, oh no. Bent pin. Sometimes you can just love these things back into place. See where this gets us. Sometimes it's a lost cause. I'm profusely sweating. Should not have pulled it out like that. How's your walk?
It was good. I'm not going to dinner tonight. Hey buddy, come back.
Out of there, out of there, out of there, out of there, out of there.
Buddy, it's a little
When I
dangerous
say out
in
of
there.
there, you gotta get out.
It's a little dangerous in there, okay? I'm on your side.
Yes, I have.
Let's go in your room.
Okay, gonna try to. Smush this together. I have my ESD wrist strap on right there. I think that should work. Oh, maddening. Oh, you know what we could totally do is just come across with that. That way it's not going over the top. Because of the length the splitter is giving us, you can just come straight through here, push that back. Looks like it might not be quite long enough. Be ironic if this puts us in the USB 2 instead of the USB 1, but that's what fits. Okay, well, at least we repaired the USB 1 port. I like for that to be underneath that. They're actually going different ways. I just want it underneath it for cleanliness. I'm not sure that's gonna work, but give it a good try here. Now we just need to route all the cables for the fans on top, up and over. Don't love having to connect them to the fan tray, but don't have a ton of other options. Just gonna make sure that they're routed behind the fans, so that way they're non-visible. We'll take this one this way, and then we'll go for those other ones the other direction. I want to cinch these up and rotate the nub in back down through the hole. That way it doesn't interfere with the case. That should work. The maze of wires. Come on. Okay, I do have to depress there. Come out. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, coming over. Up, around, down. Wow, that is not a great way. To do any of these ones, but I think we can get them out of the way at least. up and fits conveniently back down through. Then we can chart the wires underneath and then cinch up a cable right here if we want to. I don't want to do that though. There's an option right down here. I'm gonna go with that option. I'm also going to try to loop in this one using that same routing. Like maybe we'll pull this down over through right here. These things doesn't belong. It's okay, it'll cinch up just fine. Okay. And that should basically do it. There's still a mess of wires in here. You know, if I had the patience or the time, what I could totally do here is just cinch these all down individually with like these cable ties to say like, okay, this all goes to this all goes to this. I'm gonna cinch one of these down up here and then one down below. This is the only other thing. These this USB splitter is gonna be problematic if I don't resolve it now. Yeah, I don't want to like force this in or out. I do just want to hold that securely in place. And I'll get this other one down here. So like we're wrapped around something. How's ever. And let's get this is hard to just get this last one to only grab like the one thing I want it to grab. Don't want it to impede those RGB cables. So I don't want it to have like a cinch issue. Okay. All right, that should get those out of the way. Looks like that secures down everything that was peaking before. Let's lay this down and see where we're at. Well, before we lay it down, let's see if the rear panel will go on. I think it will. again, there are much better ways to cable manage, but if you guys have watched this video, janky is one of the better descriptions you can give our operation. And it just wouldn't feel quite right if it wasn't janky. Just a little bit. I feel pressure that won't let it close. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is. It just pops out in the bottom. I love this case, but the rear panel is a problem child. It has to like snap on in just the right places, otherwise it will pop out. And then even when you get it right where it's supposed to go, it still will pop out. Okay, so streamers won't light up anymore. I don't. There we go. Jiminy Christmas. Alright, it is all in. There's nothing else I can say about it. Okay. Looks like we are all cable managed. Oh, this did not get nearly as tight as I wanted it. I don't know how that happened. I pulled it like as tight as it would go, but maybe it just got snagged. It's just the cable for the AIO. That's braided, so it's not all that bad. There's no lighting there, so it's not impeding anything. Alright, I'm gonna reserve the final touch of removing plastic till next time. And I guess at some point you're always operating on your computer and it's just rear work that we need to do, so maybe we should just at least remove the interior one. Unless there isn't. Well, I guess in that case, it's just the external one that's been keeping this safe the whole time. And the inside looks glorious. That should be that. Again, remember, streamers aren't gonna work here, so don't lose your minds. I'm mostly saying this to myself. I am tired. My brain's not functioning totally correctly. I've spent weeks building this. For a good result that makes me question how good it really is. I don't know how to describe that otherwise. Alright, we're just gonna leave it alone. Speaker. Speaker is always a problem. What was that? Right now. You don't need to be here. Get out of here. Same with this. This doesn't need to be here. This does. Alright, I think that's everything. Everything that matters. Is this too? Oh, I think that was to the Yeti, and this is to the lighting. Try to get this as much as I can. Did I just turn it off? Do this every time with power supply. I don't know if they're defaulting to off. It's displaying the liquid temp again. Okay, they're on. It's these fans that are most have been problematic throughout this build. Okay. Yeah, it's displaying liquid temp instead of my CPU temps and such. Might just have to re-enable. Oh, no, there it goes. Christmas colors. Back to CPU, GPU temp. Slide this all the way off the mat into its glorious new home. Holy crap. Well, if this hasn't been an exploration and doing things yourself, I don't know what is. Yeah, so we've lost connection with the motherboard, but we were programming the Lian Li streamers with the controller anyway, so that made no difference. We just have it in rotating green RGB format to match the Christmas colors. And we are done. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you all enjoyed this insane series of videos. And party on!